I love ya. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is The Power of You with Yeyefini Efunbolade. Yes, welcome to my wonderful, wonderful weekly check-in. I see all of my friends. Vinci is setting in. Divina, yes. Friends are checking in. Mahogany, always the first one. Yes. Yes. I need to give out some prizes for the people that just be checking me the first time we come up. I'm gonna create something. You know, I'll be the giving person. My challenge is getting to the post office to mail it to you. But anyway, today on the power of you, I want to share something that I witnessed. I was witness to a conversation or a situation that just helped me today to find out what was I going to talk about. Because you know, in the mornings, I always say I don't know what I'm going to talk about, and spirit shows up. Today, I'm speaking about anger. Anger makes it difficult to forgive. The pain that other people cause you is not about them, but it's more about their own pain being released, and you just happen to be witnessing their pain. Ooh, yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful conversation. Is anger is unresolved issues. And so today we want to speak about the importance of finding situations that are painful, that are going on in your life right now. And of course, looking at it and realizing that is unresolved pain, because anger is because you cannot end the flow of that feeling of you can't end the situation. So you get frustrated and that the juices start running in amok and the sense of peace goes out the window. During this time, we have a lot of activation going on in the world. And for those of us who have been working with Oya, Oya said, leave it to me. This is a great day, a great opportunity, a great cycle, a good year that's ending to focus on things changing, radically changing because that's the numerological vibration of the universe. That is where we are as human beings. That is where we are culturally. That's where we are personally. That's where we are in the stream of things, because the activity that's going on outside of our lives that could be distracting is actually the most divine love of the Creator, letting us be reminded that we wake up every morning with the choice of blessing our heads, that our heads will be walking, and we will be walking with the understanding of that our heads are sacred. We have the opportunity to choose joy in any minute, in any situation, because we can look at how good and how big God is. Obatala is so huge that Obatala just says, whoa, let me just send love and peace. Because Obatala, remember when he was acting up or was not focusing on the fact that he had the power to be still. In most of the stories about Obatala is about peace after frustration or anger or rage, right? So we have the opportunity right now with a lot of things happening on the internet and on the media. Everything that you open up is about fear, 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 fear. Fear is because you're angry that you can't do something about it, and vice versa. So if you know that you can do something about it, you won't be afraid. You won't be angry because it makes you feel like, oh, all of this is happening. All of this is happening. What can you do? Shift the vibration universally by you going inside and using the tools. If it's prayer, if it's being taking an active part in your community to bring some kind of understanding. If it's for you to write something, is it for you to bring friends together and say, what can we do so that this doesn't happen anymore? What can we do that what is happening now that we can have some sense of justice? It's not about going out in the street and getting people that are angry, that energy coming and building this fear and feeling we have to retaliate because without retaliation we're weak. No, you have the power to be great. The power of you is the power of each one of us saying that we each have the power to change the situation. So when we're feeling all of this stuff and looking at it, give yourself an opportunity to decide if you have to watch the news or if you have to engage, or should you take that moment to clean out your closet, or take that moment to arrange your kitchen cabinets. Use that energy to deflect from going down a rabbit hole, because anger makes it difficult to forgive. One of the things that I recognize in the conversation that I said, the reason, the motivation for this segment today, is that sometimes we stay so angry with our parents because that's the first love that we experienced. And in moving through life, sometimes we compare it to what we think could have been or should have been our reality. And sometimes it is so horrible. It was so painful that you're frozen, stuck in that anger. And so in moving past it is addressing what it is, asking what it is, and recognizing that you're not that little child anymore and that you have the power to do something to shift it. If it's to get therapy, if it's to find ways of shifting your belief system, if it's doing rituals, if it's getting advice, whatever it is it takes for you to acknowledge that you can't do it alone, that it's okay for you to seek for help. If it's to get a therapist, if it's to get, like I said, counseling, or if it's to get a friend that you know they got your back, that you have a soft place to rest your head. But a lot of us spend time being very angry with our parents, sometimes angry with our mothers, because some of the rage, some of the anger that we find towards our mothers, sometimes it's the waters that we were raised in. When she carried you, or whoever carried you in their womb, they were experiencing challenges, anger, rage, fear, and that's the juice that created you. So that water that you have is one that is stormy, stormy, stormy. So sometimes it takes a radical, drastic breaking from that physical, because it's in the physical self, because it affects your nervous endings. It takes something drastic and radical and different to come from that pain or the nervousness that your mother may have found in her womb at the time that you were that little stone that started growing and became a human. And today it's a person. So you have to do something radical. That baby has to come out. That baby has to change. That ideology has to change. That perception rather, of what it is that you are today has to change. So finding the place in your heart to know that the pain that other people caused you is not about them. Right? So if you are in a situation where your father walked away or your father wasn't there and you're angry with them and you're holding this because he was not who you thought that you deserve or what you required, it's not about them not being good people. It's about them being in situations where they themselves were not able to be there for themselves. Therefore, they're not there for you. So therefore, it's not really about them. It's something that is triggering them to move them out of the reality that this is a wonderful child that I have, or beautiful wife that I have, or beautiful situation that I have, and I'm walking away from it. So it's not about them, but it's more about their own pain being released, and you just happen to be witnessing their pain. So you have situations where you have a woman or a man that spend years being angry with their father or their mother for whatever, understanding that this culture, this system, and we have said this over and over in different segments, that the system that we're living in today creates a place where men are not given the right, the opportunity to heal. And women sometimes the burden take on the role of being this strong, independent, testosterone, high level, masculine, protective energy versus the part that is receiving, that is soft, that its water is the womb. So this system is created in that way. The way we've created a world that everything is fast, everything is now, everything is about money, everything is about power, and who can control what. Where did we get to this point? Perhaps it's just part of evolution. But the fact is, we're here. And we are witnessing so many of these things that are raised on anger, because there's nothing that you can say and do about it. So you want to wipe it away, you want to get it away, do whatever it is that you can in rage. And in the anger, you lose sight of the fact that this is not about you. This is about your perception of what you think this person is doing to you. So it's more about their own pain being released. And you happen to be witnessing that pain. That's heavy. I just give thanks every day for this faith and the understanding that not only do we choose our parents and we choose the circumstances of our birth, but that we always can ask Spirit to show us, to give us a different way by honoring God, the source, our head, by honoring the fact that you have the right to make the choices that make best for you in the moment. So if you have this thing with your parents or your mother or your father, make today be that day that you can ask yourself, how long am I going to do this? And who is this serving? Who is this anger? Who is this fear? This pain serving? Because it's affecting, and just as we said, it's not about their own, it's about their own pain being released. So when you're angry, when you're upset, it's your own pain that you're releasing in other people. So it's like an epidemic. So it's like a release that you are witnessing, and someone else is releasing your pain. And it never ends, because it's a place where it's all trying to find the magic word known as healing. Healing, feeling a place that you belong, you have the right, that it's safe for you to love and to open. Yeah, because when you're angry with your parents, it keeps you in a place of survival. You're always in that place of, so I gotta survive, I gotta survive, I gotta survive. Because instinctively it's either flight or fear. And you know that you gotta take the flight. You have to move from it. So if you stay in that place where you are angry with your parents, or the person or the situation that you know should have been there for you and giving you that kind of ease, you stay in a survival mode that infects and creates challenges for yourself, your family, and everyone else that's in your world that is witnessing your presence. Let today be that day that we are letting go and releasing it through any means necessary. In my book, The Living Shrine, my autobiography, there are chapters in there. There's a story in there about how I was able to forgive my father for abandonment. I was able to understand it at one point that it was a cultural setup of organized genocide or organized the way that our system is created for a black man from the Caribbean who had no connection to his authentic and original ancestors and relatives. Parents dying when he's a teenager, an orphan. And the parents are not from that country. The parents came, he was born. So intellectually, I understood it. But the pain that I have of abandonment, that he was not there for me anymore, it was through a spiritual intervention. It was at a misa, a spiritual, like lack of a better word, of a different word, is like a seance. And those of you who take my mediumship training, you have the beginning stages, introduction of what is mediums, what is a medium, what is when a spirit uses you as a vehicle to manifest in the physical, to people, to situations, to circumstances. And so I happened to be there. And I was not around anyone that even knew me. I wasn't even in this country. And in the Misa, it said that there was a man standing, that a short man was there. And he was crying. And the man, and they described what my father looked like. And I was like, ooh, that looks like my dad. But he wasn't short. Because they said a little man. I said, no, that's the, But when they described the color of his eyes and his hair and the type of hair that he had, I said, that's like my father. And I said, and when the medium came through and was speaking, my father's presence spoke through the man. And he said that, yes, it is your father. I am your father. I ask your forgiveness. And I'm still sitting there saying, why is he so short? And then the medium went on to express that there was something wrong with his legs. And in that moment, I realized my father had both legs amputated. And so that's why he was presenting himself as short. Not that the spirit didn't know how to picture himself as big, but it was a key, because when you're doing a misa, there are key words or key situation, there are threads, and you follow that thread because it's making a picture or a story, so that the person that is speaking, the people can understand the story. So you could get a different color or a background, anything that could tap the medium into getting a better picture to say to the person that is sitting there asking for the clarity. And so I said, oh my God, yes, it is. He had both legs. And they said, and they went on, and he was saying how sorry he was. And he gave situations that no one could know, that I know that it was him, because that's what happens in a misa, is that if you don't know, the spirits will get very clear. They will give you situations that, okay, so you think that it was 25 cents? No, it was $25. Oh my God. And then you're able to see. So they do give you that clarification. They activate, they give you that sense of knowing, whoa, this is definitely. And when we do misas in our temple for our clients, we always tell them, when you go home, ask your ancestors if what they said was so. And you can confirm. It's not something like, oh my God, I have to say because Yeyefini said, or because the other medium said. No, it's not that. So getting back to my story, that's what happened to me. For years, I had this disappointment, but it was really anger that I didn't even realize that it was anger. So that was very hard for me to forgive him. So I had to be brought to the fact that he was sorry, and he was asked for forgiveness. And we gave him prayers of elevation. And I came home and did the 9-day elevation for him. I thought the spirit was free to love me in the way that I needed to be loved and supported, and to come to me in my dreams. And we started this whole beautiful relationship. And so I am speaking from experience. And there are other stories in my autobiography, The Living Shrine, and the workbook, that you can work through it in some of your family issues. So remember that it's very difficult when you are angry. And so for you to forgive. and for you to take a position of, is there something I can do to change it? Or should I react to the rage? Should I be engaged with the rage or the anger that I feel? Should I bring other people to hate him or to hate the other people and to react in that way? No, shift it, knowing that today, as of today, release that, because releasing it, setting you free. It set me free, not only for my personal self, but it was able to give me this lesson that ended up being a class that I can speak, that I can share with you, because I know someone is listening to that, or else it would come up today. When I ask Spirit to reveal to me what I'm going to speak on Wednesday, it always comes up because there are so many people asking Spirit for clarity on this matter. And it just happened that I asked for it. So I grabbed that fruit and said, I'm going to share this fruit of knowledge. So I know someone is listening to me that is agreeing with me. So make it today be that day that you know that the anger, the confusion, is stopping you from the forgiveness that you need. And the forgiveness then will lead to the healing, not only of that spirit, of for you, your own healing, so that you can love differently, so you can understand differently. Doing that shift my relationship with my children 24/7, of trying to feel like, yes, you have to do it my way and my way is right. No, everybody got some stuff they drag it. And if we can look at it with a little more compassion to ourselves, then we can understand that when we have a situation where we just happen to be witnessing it, it's not about them. They're not a bad person. This, you are not this horrible person. You don't deserve it. This is not karma. This is God forgetting you. It is there being released in your space. And so protect your peace, as we said last week. Do whatever you can. Bless your head every morning. Make sure that you have a connection to people who are supporting you. Get some physical therapy. Get some mental health and mental therapy, rather. Because physical therapy as well. Because if you're in pain, if you're in angry waters, it's going to affect your movement. It's going to affect your bones physically. So get some therapy, physically, spiritually, all that is required so that you can find that peace and that glory. So I just wanted to bring that today to remind us that anger makes it difficult to forgive. And without forgiveness, you won't be able to live in a place that you can even fathom you being the source of peace. That when you're at peace, it generates that peace throughout the universe. And a lot of times we see things that are just, and we're seeing a lot of that in the world today, traumatic, drastic things. And we ask ourselves, how can we see and do differently to help, to assist the grieving process of families, the grieving process of ourselves, the grieving process of our community? Ask, because whatever you're thinking, whatever you're asking, the universe, God, source, Olodumare, whoever you know as the reason you woke up this morning, and it will be granted unto you. And you just grab that fruit and use it. If it's to get all of your friends together to do a parade, if it's to march, if it's whatever it is that makes you feel that you're doing something, if it's to make little sandwiches for people who are going to work and maybe in confusion that they don't have to worry about, if it's going on one of the marches that people do, you're the one that's making the little sandwiches. That's how you can be active, and it takes it away from feeling helpless. So today we want you to remember who is Obatala. And I want you to take 3 cleansing breaths, breathing in and visualizing yourself on the top of a mountain with your arms open, receiving and seeing the clouds above your head. And you're floating in Obatala's kingdom of peace. Visualize that now. You earned it. And let go. Let Obatala take that anger. Everyone is seeking to make this music. I was inspired to make this. Just make sure that music you are as a way of sharing the power and the knowledge of Obatala, the father of all the Orisha. Just floating with Obatala. Obatala lives inside of each and every one of us. And so Obatala is the owner of all heads. Obatala is our ability to intuit, to download, and to connect to peace that everyone is seeking. Obatala is struggle and then peace, obstruction and clarity. The children of Obatala will face many adversities because only through adversity you can appreciate peace. Only through adversity. And calm and love. No matter what Obatala goes through as an entity, as an energy, as a force, it always realizes its power by remaining peaceful. Release by remaining clear, to your mother, to your auntie, to your uncle, to so your dead husband. Is the energy that when you feel like you're in rock bottom, Obatala got your back. When everything else seems dark or distant or disorganized, when you release it, comes in and gives you clarity. And that energy then becomes a support you say yes, to you. Yes, yes, to life. So this music is an opportunity for you to look at the challenges that you may be going through or the things that you've gone through and recognize that it's now an angel. Fine. An angel that's at your feet thanking you. Being lost or victimized or thanking you for forgiving them. You change that to knowing that I am bigger than this, I am better than that, because I am not alone. Then you know Obatala. Obatala is that energy that makes you know that your father is protecting you. Your mother is protecting you. And that's Obatala. The male energy, the female energy of peace, tranquility, and knowing that you have the power to be great. The energy of peace and the triumph over adversity. That's Obatala. Obatala says when we get bombarded with the little trivial things, Obatala says, all of that you see down there is irrelevant. What you are seeing is what I see. So whenever you want to connect to Obatala, sit on a mountain, sit on a hill, sit somewhere that can give you perspective that at the end of the day, it's only peace and there's only love. That's it. Yeah. So I want you to just take this moment now to just give thanks for what you've been through this morning, in this meditation, in this contemplation, in this activation, and affirm today, just as my father begged for forgiveness, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie that you're angry with or that were angry with you, once you release it, they become your angel. So as of today, release that anger. And I want you to visualize yourself coming back here and releasing that white cloud that you were floating in, and that spirit that was kneeling in front of you asking your forgiveness, that you are standing and they are standing with you and you are hugging, kissing, crying. And remember, you have the power to be great. So go forth, my sisters and brothers, and know that anger and rage stops you from healing and feeling God. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful afternoon. And I will see you again on the next, The Power of You. You have the power to be great. Ashe. I remember Oya this month. Go on my website and look at the blog on Oya, how to set up her altar, how to do the things. Leave your pain to Oya. Ashe.